What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pick 6 channel, and today we'll be talking a little bit about the off-season fiasco and a little bit about the draft. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a huge college football guy, so pardon me if the draft thing is a little bit brief, but first let's get into the off-season stuff, okay? First question. Who won the offseason, in my opinion? As much as I want to say the Steelers did, which I couldn't have asked for a better offseason from the Steelers, I got to go with the Houston Texans. You know, the past 2 years, they've just really been doing a great job. You know, they're going to be a team that's going to be good for years to come, okay? Years to come. And they were able to get Stephon Diggs in a trade from the Buffalo Bills. They got a quality running back in Joe Mixon, you know. I knew that they were going to get better this coming season. You know, last season I was giving them a little bit just because of the, you know, they didn't have any experience. You know, you got a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. So I wasn't really expecting too much. So nobody was either, so... But to do what they did last year was remarkable. Going into this season, I thought they were just going to get better regardless, you know, because the experience factor was going to start, you know, they were going to get more experience. And they wound up actually getting better on paper as well, you know, and they got some quality draft picks. I think they won the offseason. I do. They got Stephon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the league. And I got to ask this one thing. Why would the Bills trade Stephon Diggs to an AFC team? Especially a team that contended last year. I don't get it. Maybe that's just me, though. If I were the Bills, I would have traded Stephon Diggs. Even if it was to a contending team in the NFC, that's fine. That's okay. Even if it was a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, a team like even the Detroit Lions, you know, even if I didn't care if it would be a contending team in the NFC, but the fact that they traded them to a contending team in the AFC raised a little eyebrows for me. But what do I know, right? I don't know too much. Okay? That's just me, though. You trade your best receiver to a contender, a true contender. You know, I'd like to think that I think they're a true contender in the AFC. I don't get it. What are the Bills? The Bills had a rough offseason. I think they're probably the offseason losers. It's either them or the Dallas Cowboys. But, I mean, I got to go with the Buffalo Bills. The only thing with the Cowboys is Jerry Jones was kind of hyping up the fans, everything like that, saying, we're going to make a big splash this offseason. They ain't make no splash. They didn't get anybody, really. You know, I was talking to a Cowboy fan, you know, before all this offseason stuff happened, saying that they're going to get Derrick Henry, and he was serious. He was serious. I'm like, all right. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for him. I was thinking, you know, that the Cowboys were actually going to do something. They did nothing this offseason. They did nothing this offseason. I do feel bad for the Cowboy fans out there, you know, especially after what Jerry Jones said, saying that they're going to make a big splash. I don't know exactly what he said, but, you know, that big things were coming, whatever, you know. But the Cowboys need to change. They're not getting change. They're not getting change. That's the thing that I'm saying with the Cowboys. In order for them to get to even just the NFC Championship games, something has to change. I don't know if it's the quarterback, the head coach, the owner. I don't know if it's all three. Something has to change with the Cowboys in order for them to get to where they want to get to. You know, they don't have a bad team. They have a really good team. You know, they can contend in the NFC, but there's just something missing. Like I said, I don't know if it's the head coach, the quarterback, the owner, maybe it's all three. Something needs to change with the Dallas Cowboys in order for them to be a true Right now they're just an NFC contender. But in order for them to become a true Super Bowl contender, something needs to change in Dallas. Maybe it is Jerry Jones. Maybe his time is up. We'll see on that. I thought the Cowboys were even going to get a new head coach or something, get Bill Belichick. It's not like they had to completely rebuild the Dallas Cowboys. There's no need for that. They do, like I said, they do have a team that can contend in the NFC. There's just something missing there. Enough on the Cowboy rant. I'm not trying to get the Cowboy fans too heated right now. I'm sorry for you guys, okay? But the Houston Texans definitely did their thing in the offseason. 49ers, I mean, there's not really much you could do there. They're just in a win-now situation, which, will they win now? I don't know. I just don't know. They have all the talent in the world, and I know there was speculation, there was rumors, trade Debo, trade Ayuk. They're not going to trade any of those guys. I don't see it happening. Maybe I eat my own words here. But they're in a win now situation. They're in a win or bust situation. And look, man, you're not going to trade your wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 when you're in that situation. That's just how it is. But I kind of get the same feeling with the Niners compared to the Cowboys too. I don't know what it is. It might be Shanahan. Because like I said, they probably have the best roster in all of football. On paper, they probably have the best roster in all of football. Best wide receiver. Best running back in the league when healthy. At least top 5 tight end in the league, a solid receiving core. Defense, 9 times out of 10 keeps you in the game. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is with the Niners. It might be the coach. But they're sticking with Shanahan, so we'll just have to wait and see. Niner fans, let me know. Let me know what the problem is. I'm just a Steeler fan. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments, Niner fans. All right? As for the Steelers and the AFC North. Actually, before I get into the AFC North, Aaron Rodgers coming back this year. Do you guys think that the Jets are going to be a lot better this year? Or do you think it doesn't really do much? Because the Jets have a good defense. They've always had a good defense that actually keeps them in some games. I think they're going to be better this year. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is... All of a sudden, I'm getting the hiccups. Aaron Rodgers is obviously, I would like to think, a step up from Zach Wilson and the quarterback situation that they had last year. He is getting a little older. I don't know how he's going to play with coming back from the injury, but I'm just going to assume that we're getting somewhat of the Aaron Rodgers that we had before he got injured, which is a good quality quarterback. Okay, I do see the Jets being better this year. Winning the division, I don't know, because they still have the Dolphins in there. They're going to be good. I know the Dolphins are still trying to figure out the thing with Tua, but they got weapons around them. Still, the fastest team in the league. So the Dolphins are going to be there still. The Bills, I'm not counting them out completely. I don't think they're going to be as good this year, but I don't think they're going to be a bad team. They have a quarterback like Josh Allen. I don't see them going below 500 this year. Maybe 9-8 at the worst. Maybe they do go 1-9. I don't know. But they lost a lot of key players and a lot of key players on defense too. But like I said, Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks who could keep you relevant, but I just, this season, I don't think they're going to be competitors in the, true Super Bowl contenders this year. Now let's get into the AFC North, the toughest division in all of the NFL. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a Steeler fan. I get some of you might be thinking that. I'm saying that, you know what? The numbers speak for themselves. The numbers speak for themselves. Every team in the AFC North had a winning record, okay? And as crazy as that sounds, teams got significantly better, okay? The Ravens had a 14-3 record or 13-4 record, something like that. You could put an asterisk on the one loss at the end of the season, whatever, okay? But they rely heavy on their run game, except for the AFC Championship game for some odd reason. Okay, that might have been too much for you guys, but they've been a run-heavy offense since getting Lamar Jackson. Since getting Lamar Jackson, they've been a run-heavy offense, and it works. It works. Okay? That's their style of play, and it works. And now you get Derrick Henry into that offense, who's known to be good and run heavy. I mean, when he's healthy, he's one of the best out there. Some would argue say he's the best out there. So add that with Lamar Jackson's running abilities too. That's going to help the Ravens offense. Okay? And hopefully, if they play the Chiefs again in the playoffs, they don't just run the ball only 3 times. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop on that one. But you get the point. The Ravens offense definitely takes a step up. And a good portion of the season last year, they didn't have Mark Andrews. So they're going to get Mark Andrews back, a healthy Mark Andrews. So they're going to be better. They're going to be better. At least on paper. They're better. But like I said, it's hard to kind of give a true record for any of these teams in this division because of how good these teams are. The Cleveland Browns, you could say that they're a star quarterback away from being Super Bowl contenders, not AFC contenders, Super Bowl contenders. Not playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. They got the best defense in the league. Myles Garrett always out there doing his thing. The only problem and question is with Deshaun Watson, And look, last year Nick Chubb was out for practically the whole season, so getting him back is definitely going to be a plus. That should help out Deshaun Watson a lot more. But let's be honest here, Deshaun Watson has not been the guy that they were expecting him to be. And look, he's out there. They're going to have him out there because they're paying him so much. So we'll see how the thing with Deshaun Watson goes. So far, that contract has not played off well for the Browns at all. But we'll see, man. Like I said, he should be getting more help with Nick Chubb. Maybe they don't have to rely on him too much next year. And the Bengals obviously getting Joe Burrow back. Kind of need Joe Burrow. It kind of showed. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, he's one to put the team on his back. On his show last year, the Bengals are going to be good. All those 4 teams are going to be good. That's why it's kind of hard to pick records or to predict records for that particular division. You just know that they're all going to be good. And I really wouldn't be shocked if every team in the division makes the playoffs, which it's hard to do because, the division records and things like that. So maybe 3 again. We'll just have to wait and see. As for the Steelers, I mean, like I said before, you couldn't have asked for a better off season if you were a Steeler fan, when literally a few minutes after the Ravens got Derrick Henry, the Steelers punched back by getting Patrick Queen. And he is one of the best, if not the best, in his position. Great pickup by the Steelers. I think that's probably the best pickup for the Steelers this offseason. I mean, is that really saying much? I mean, he's the best player in that position, if not top 3. Okay, quality pickup. Then you got the whole thing with Kenny Pickett and Russell and Justin Fields. You know, it was rumored before any of that happened that the Steelers were either going to get either or. They wound up getting both, and Kenny Pickett's not even on the team anymore. And, you know, in the draft, the Steelers actually finally did make the picket fence. And Pickett is not there anymore. It sucks, man. The situation is kind of sucks, but I mean, let's just say this. I would like to think the Steelers quarterback room is a lot better compared to what they had before. You know, before they had Mr. Trubisky, who was never really a good starter with the Steelers. Kenny Pickett, he had flashes here and there, but the offense still really struggled. Granted, was the situation he was in the best? No. No, it was not. Okay? But I just think the lack of production was what was drawing the Steelers front office, like, kind of frustrated a little bit because of the lack of production. And then Mason Rudolph, you know, the guy who revived the Steelers season last year. He was actually the best out of the 3. And all 3 of those quarterbacks aren't even on the team anymore. It's crazy. Mason is going to Nashville. You know, Kenny is, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever start in the league again. He's going to be backing up Justin Fields. Justin Fields is obviously the guy in Philly. So I don't know if Kenny Pickett's ever going to start a game out there, barring injury or what have you. And Mr. Trubisky, it's like nothing happened. He re-signed with the Buffalo Bills, and he's going to be a backup to Josh Allen, like he was before he even signed with the Steelers. So that's interesting. Now into the draft. Okay. Caleb Williams obviously going number 1. Nobody's shocked. Nobody's surprised. The Bears practically publicly said it weeks before the draft was even going to happen that they were going to go with Caleb Williams. I almost threw that on my face. But that they were going with Caleb Williams for the first round or the first overall pick. And, you know, Chicago, they're doing an all right job building up around him. You know, I think the way they're handling Caleb is way better than the way they handled Justin Fields. You know, they didn't really build around Justin Fields well at all. You know, you could kind of say the same thing with Mr. Trubisky, but I mean, Mr. Trubisky just never really played out with anybody. But they're doing a good job building around him. That's how you're kind of supposed to build your rookie quarterback, you know. And clearly he's going to be the week 1 starter. I mean, it's been hyped up. Even if it's just for publicity or whatever, they're going to have him start week 1. And they're hoping that, you know, they've given him good enough weapons, you know, maybe even a good enough O-line. Who knows, man? But the Bears have been doing the best job they possibly can to build around Caleb Williams. So that is a solid and good thing. Now let me get into this one. The shocker of the first round. Michael Penix Jr. going to the Atlanta Falcons. Now let me say this. Before any of this quarterback fiasco happened with the Steelers this offseason, I was actually kind of hoping the Steelers were going to be able to get Michael Penix. You know, because before all that, the quarterback situation for the Steelers, that was one of their biggest needs, if not the biggest need for the Steelers to get done this offseason. You know? So I was kind of hoping that they would get Michael Penix. You know, he was almost won the Heisman last year in college. Some would say he probably should have won the Heisman last year in college. Almost this close one. It wasn't really that close in the national championship game, but they almost went undefeated with Penix at the helm. The biggest question is, you sign Kirk Cousins to a pretty big contract just to draft a quarterback in the first round, 8th overall. You know, and I've seen the jokes or whatever. It's like Penix is not gonna start until he's 30. Okay, but I don't know what was going through Atlanta's head right here. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. And no, a lot of people don't either. And it has nothing to do with Penix. Nothing to do with Penix. Because like I said, he's a really solid quarterback. You know? It's just, I don't understand why the Falcons would get him. Do they not trust Kirk Cousins that much? And if they don't trust Kirk Cousins that much, then why would they sign him to... why would they guarantee him all this money? A lot of this just doesn't make sense to me. Okay? You know, another team, actually, for this offseason that kind of struggled was the Chargers, too. But, you know, I think a lot of people have faith in Harbaugh. You know, maybe he's just taking this year to rebuild. Who knows? Who knows what Harbaugh's doing, but he's a great head coach, man. So I'm not too concerned on the Chargers. Will they be good this year? Probably not. You know, maybe he's just trying to build the team first. And maybe in a few years, they'll be a contender there, man. Because it wasn't pretty last year. Okay? The year before that, they blew a 27-point lead in the playoffs. So we'll see how the Chargers are going to be this year. I don't expect it to be too great. But, I mean, I don't think anybody is either. But I trust Harbaugh and what he's going to do in LA. Every time I talk Chargers, I try not to say San Diego. Okay, I had to stop myself to say San Diego. But another thing, the Raiders. I'm surprised they didn't take a quarterback. You know, because a lot of Raider fans believe that their biggest need is a quarterback. You know, including myself. But the thing is, O'Connell last year, that was only his rookie year. Okay? And like I said before, if you want the quarterback you draft to be the guy, you kind of got to give him a couple years. You know, maybe 2 or 3 years. And he only had one so far. So maybe that's their mindset. You know, as of right now, they haven't drafted a quarterback, but maybe they draft him in a late round. I'm not too sure. You know, but Raider fans, let me know how you feel about the quarterback situation. Are you fine with them just building around Minshew or AOC? Or were you kind of hoping to get a guy like Penix? Were you hoping that they would draft up or trade up to get a guy like Jaden Daniels? How are you guys feeling about that? I think it could work out well for the Raiders. You know, like I said, I do like Antonio Pierce. I'm sorry, Adam Pierce, WWE fan. My bad. Okay, I do like Antonio Pierce as a head coach. You know, I feel like he's bringing back that old school Raider way. You know, and that's been something that's been missing for a long time. So, you know, I kind of trust what he's doing. I think the Raiders will be better than what they were last year. Am I saying that they're going to take the division and dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs? No. But can they sneak into the playoffs? I wouldn't put it past the Chiefs. Or, I'm sorry, the Raiders. See, now I'm fumbling over words here. But in the AFC is just, there's so many good teams in the AFC, man. That's why it's hard to judge. Like, it's hard to pick records in the AFC. The only team probably is a team like in the AFC East or something, you know, because we don't know how good the Jets are going to be. What other teams are? The Bills, I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick records in the AFC because of how stacked the AFC is. But we'll see, man. I know, like I said, I wasn't able to give too much in depth on how the draft is going because I'm not much of a. I don't really watch college football like that too much. Neither does Cholo Trucker too much. But I do like what the Steelers have been doing in the draft. Let me know how you guys feel about how your team's been doing in the draft. Me, as a Steelers fan, I can't really complain. The only probably thing is the cornerback situation. There are rumors that the Steelers might get Cam Sutton back. I know he had some things going on off the field, some drama off the field, but when he was a Steeler, man, he was a solid corner. That's all I'm going to say. And whether they get him or not, I'm not too sure, you know. But if they do get him, like I said, he was a quality cornerback when he was with the team. So we'll see how the rest of that goes. Me personally, I have no complaints on what the Steelers are doing. They've been building that picket fence. Not for Pickett. All right? For Russell Wilson. I mean, that's obviously going to be a starter week 1. I'll get into the quarterback situation on another video. But as for this one, guys, that's about it. That's a bit of a longer video. It's probably the longest video I've ever done. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Of course, go Steelers for my deflated football. I need to pump this one up. All right, I'm not Tom Brady, but catch you guys in the next one.